Altcoin prices have been tanking. Also, Bitcoin's price has been tanking, but why? Could it be a trade war between the US and Canada and Mexico? Or is that possibly just the excuse needed to start a panic sell so institutions can buy up more? Now, I was talking earlier today with the real Randy Chavez this morning, and he noticed something silly in XRP trade volumes, over 30 billion in trade volume just recently. Sounds like some institutions massively loading the boats at depressed prices. Now, it can be frustrating being a little fish in an ocean full of whales and sharks. And these whales and sharks can totally knock you out of smart positions or even gobble you up entirely if you aren't being smart about your decisions in crypto. And honestly, a lot of people are doing this wrong. They're just new to this space. So they're doing what they would feel they probably should do. And that goes so wrong for them. Well, today I'm going to share with you some secrets on how little tiny players can do incredibly well in crypto. Welcome to the Crypto Rain channel and our family. If you're looking to become a savage, seasoned crypto investor and become like a Navy SEAL in the crypto investing space, well, you're in the right place. If you, like me, came into crypto because you realize there is massive potential here for life-changing gains over a greater 4 to 8 year period, and you're looking for the discussions on becoming a solid and shakeable crypto investor, you're in exactly the right place and with the right family. The Rainmaker family. Now, the reason I created this channel is because I was new to the crypto space myself 8 years ago. Back then, I was looking for a crypto channel and a network or group that understood crypto as investment and discussed the most important things. Like, what is the overall crypto cycle? Okay, it's highly volatile. It has upswings and downswings, but are there patterns in these swings? Are there patterns that can help me? Because every market has swings. My background was a lot of real estate investment. And before crypto, I'd been doing investment for 18 years. But I didn't find the most important discussions like what is the lifestyle cycle like? And then in-depth discussions on top of that of what are some of the undervalued or massively overfunded gems during the bottoms of these cycles so that I could be buying low and then selling high. And I didn't find a crypto channel like that, so I created it. And anymore, we created it because it's not just me. It's a family of Rainmakers, and you'll find them in our free Telegram group. Because that is free, there's a link to that below. Also, realize scammers join that all the time, and there is no barrier to entry for scammers either, but you will find some good chat in there. Where you'll find the best chat is in our private Patreon group that gives you access to our private Discord. The private Discord is where the chat is. Now, Discord itself doesn't have a barrier, so the Patreon is our barrier to that. And then there is a paywall, and the paywall is just so the serious people can find their way there for the discussions, and the unserious and the scammers don't get to come in there. Now, this is where the best discussion, best info is. There are other huge benefits too that I don't necessarily talk about publicly, or if I do, I talk about them very, very seldomly. But you would have to join us really to find out. Do note, I'm not a financial advisor. I am not your financial advisor. I'm a crypto investor myself. And I've been an investor for almost 25 years now. And I'm laying out what I like and why I like it, what patterns I see work, not just for me, but for others, and what patterns I see don't. Like today's discussion, why so many people get wrecked because they're doing things massively wrong. Well, if you haven't already, do make it rain on that like button. That does spread our message to help our Rainmaker family become even bigger. And there are benefits as this becomes bigger. Now, do you ever feel like big money comes in and pushes the market around and it squashes all the small players in the crypto space? Well, the truth is they do. But you're only getting squashed if you're doing some of the wrong things. So why are you doing those wrong things? Well, perhaps you had improper expectations. That's probably why you're doing those wrong things. So let's go over the key to doing really, really well in crypto. A formula that works so well, you don't even have to have a high IQ to do it. In fact, sometimes people let their high IQs get in the way and cause them to do everything wrong. So let's understand the most important rule of any type of investing. It just especially applies in crypto, it applies in everything. And if you do this one primary rule right, you will do very, very well. And if you do it wrong, it won't go well for you. So the primary rule is buy low, sell high. Funny enough, it sounds like the most simple rule ever. And yet, I bet some of you are already doing badly on this primary rule. When people get pushed around and squashed because big investors push the money around, how do you get squashed if you're not selling into that, right? So if they push prices way, way down, that is often an opportunity to buy low. You're only getting squashed if you're selling at those points. And in that case, you're selling low. Now, also, additionally, some of you may have some cases that you bought into something that was pumping. Think it would continue to pump for longer because every YouTube channel was talking about it. Every YouTube channel was saying, oh yeah, it's so great. It's amazing. It's just going to go up from here. And I can see it going 70x from here. And perhaps it did go up a little bit more. And then you got reversed on after buying high, hoping it would go higher. And you possibly even sold at a loss. I know I did that when I was new to crypto, even though I knew better. Why? I've been doing investment. I wasn't new when I got started in crypto. I'd been doing investing for 18 years. But I bought high, hoping it'd go higher. And I sold at a loss. So if you've done that, or you are doing that, well, we've all done that. And to put it bluntly, you're bad before you're good. And a lot of people buy high and then they sell low. And then they don't stick around long enough to realize their mistakes or even take ownership of them. And they don't get any better. And this is actually the experience most have in crypto, which is why there are fewer multimillionaires from crypto investing than there are stories about people losing money in crypto. So how do you do it right? Well, first of all, it takes research, patience, and long-term thinking. Let's start with long-term thinking. You've likely already figured out that crypto's market goes in absolutely parabolic cycles every 4 years since 2013. So in 2013, 2017, 2021, and now 2025. That is so freaking exciting. We are now in 2025, but it hasn't gone parabolic yet. So some people are even saying it's not going to happen. There is no alt season this cycle. Now, keep in mind, they said that in January of 2021. And they were very, very wrong. All the people have said that. It didn't stop that becoming the majority opinion in January 2021, even though it was so devastatingly wrong. And only a month to a month and a half away was this major altcoin season that was massively life-changing for those that knew better than to believe what everyone was saying. Now, this is the most critical thing you can understand is this 4-year cycle. So this coming year, likely all of the crypto space goes absolutely crazy. But some things are going to go even higher or massively outperform other things. Why? Well, some things have already pumped tremendously. And though they will probably increase from here, it isn't clear that they have much gains left. While other things have not realized hardly any of their 2025 bull market gains yet. So many ask, but Rain, which projects are those? Well, this is where research comes in. Remember, the number one rule is to buy low and sell high. If you're buying a token for a crypto project that everyone is talking about, then the price isn't likely low. You are buying high, hoping it goes higher. A great example of that right now is Solana. Everyone's talking about Solana. Oh, Solana to the moon. Solana might flip ETH's market cap. Now, are they wrong? Solana may flip ETH's market cap. I don't think it will. ETH, I think, has been overly fudded and not talked about. And I know narratives don't continue for forever. And Solana bottomed out at $7. And that's when everyone was saying Solana was dead. and it wasn't. And it's gone 30x from there. So realize if you were buying Solana like a year and a half ago, it's up 30x from where it was before. So the major gains on Solana have been missed. Now, could it 3x from here? It could. It could. But buying Solana right now is a fantastic example of buying high, hoping it goes higher. And probably because of timing, it will go higher. But then it's going to reverse on you. And that's how so many people lose money in the middle of a bull market, is that they buy high hoping it goes higher. Now, another way to make money, the real way to make money is buying undervalued gems that everyone is flooding on. Now, it's hard to identify which ones those are and which ones are worth buying. But better than buying high, hoping it goes higher, is using research to identify a crypto project that is in a strong narrative that hasn't been running this cycle. Now, there are several narratives I like. These are just some of them. I love the DeFi narrative. I love the blockchain gaming narrative. I love decentralized physical infrastructure, or DePIN, like a project I've recently covered called Chirp. I do love the AI narrative, though I will caution that very few of the projects in the AI narrative pass the smell test for me. A bunch of them are just thrown together to be in the AI narrative, and that doesn't mean they can't and won't pump. It just means it's less predictable, because some are literally just bullcrap thrown with a bunch of buzzwords because the AI narrative is doing well, and they hired some graduate programmers that had some AI experience and programmed something for me, and they're crap. Another narrative I really, really like on top of AI is the digital collectibles narrative. Now, I love this one. Both Omi and Flow in this narrative are some of my very favorites, and they've been overly punished because that narrative has been out of the narrative for so long. Well, I like that situation. Remember, I like to buy low and sell high. Solana has been strongly in the narrative as meme coins went crazy the last number of months, and most of them were trading on Solana. So everyone's like, Solana, 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 Solana. It's going to go to the moon. It's never going to stop going up. It never plays out that way. Solana will stop going up. At what point? I don't know. I know it's already gone 30x for something with such a high market cap already. 30x is freaking incredible. I caution. Buying Solana now is a perfect example of buy high, hoping it goes higher. Maybe it does for a little bit, and then it reverses on you. Where the money's made is undervalued gems. But which ones to buy out there? Well, that is always what to figure out. In the end, what you buy is up to you. It isn't about what my favorites are. It's about what your favorites are. And I simply share with you what I like, but even more importantly than that, why I like it. And the key isn't to just copy and buy what I buy. It's for you to dig deep and learn which projects you really like that are presently outside the narrative and yet well positioned to do well in 2025, especially if they're out of the narrative right now. So with that number one principle again in mind of buy low, sell high, to accomplish this, you have to dig deep into research, because likely the price is going to be really cheap. But this also means very few are talking good about that project at the time. It also possibly means the project could actually be on its way to failure rather than just temporarily really cheap before then going crazy. Now, because most in crypto don't have a bigger understanding of the 4-year cycle, and that narratives also go in cycles within that 4-year cycle, and that sometimes things get really, really cheap, sometimes even right before they explode, many of the really great underpriced, massively undervalued deals are also massively overfunded by people who are completely 100% sure the project is dead, or I often see this term used, a slow rug pull. Now, realize that those people saying that are most often the buy high and sell low people. You don't listen to them. Doesn't mean you don't listen to what they're saying. You take that into account. But remember, when things are massively, massively undervalued, you will see that. That's part of it. It's not that you ignore that, but you use research, setting aside all the FUD and feelings from those people, and use research. Now, this research part does take practice. You won't be great at it right away. But Rain, you may be thinking, how can you tell with 100% certainty what will make it versus what will fail using research? And that is a really, really good question. And at first, you're not going to like my answer. But over time, you will realize the beauty of this answer. There is no way to tell with 100% certainty. That is impossible. In this space of investment, we are only dealing with probabilities. And determining what you feel are the probabilities that it will succeed, and then making your decision related to that. You see, so many people are looking for 100% certainty that they pass up on amazing probabilities because they haven't spent the time to do the research and learn how to assess when the odds could be massively stacked for them, because they're looking for certainty. And you will not find certainty. You will only find probabilities in life, and especially in crypto. See, what you're really doing in crypto is early stage business investing into projects or companies in the crypto space. Even worse in the crypto space than that is you are not really even buying equity in those companies. You're buying tokens associated with them. There is absolutely no certainty. We are only assessing probabilities. Now, I'm going to give you a sobering example of what probabilities can mean. One of my favorite buys right now is the OMI token, associated with one of the number one digital, what I feel is the number one digital collectibles app. And I do think digital collectibles become a trend that goes worldwide. But there's a token associated with ViVe, and it's called OMI. Do you realize that ViVe tomorrow could decide to totally disassociate from the OMI token? And all my OMI holdings would be next to worthless. And that is a possibility. Now, if they did that, it would have serious consequences to them. And serious consequences to them in that it would hurt their name massively, their credibility, their reputation, and their current community. It would savage many in that current community. So it would severely hurt them. So there are consequences to them if they did that. But it is a possibility. Now, I would give that scenario happening about a 1% chance. But it is a risk. And when you are determining which risks are worth taking, you have to look deeper into what all the risks possibly are and identify them. And as you get better and better at this, you'll become better at gauging accurately your probability for success with that investment. And you see, one of the reasons I say over the long term in crypto, you can become really, really rich is that some of these skills don't come naturally to people. They're new to this. When you're new to things, you're always bad before you're good. And realize there is a learning curve here. Think of it almost like a second job. A lot of people get in the crypto space and they just trade on dopamine and they buy what's high and they want to be part of that community. They don't take the time to learn to think like this. And that's why most people don't do well in crypto, because those that learn to think like this, that become really good at gauging probabilities, well, they become super wealthy over time. So let's actually look at some projects. Let's talk about research and how research is done and what kind of probabilities and possibilities things might have. Would that be fun? We are live. I want to catch up on some of the comments. Bill Gardner says, I like secrets. Tammy Hanna here. Good to see you, Tammy. Kevin Hawthorne joining us from Lakeland, Florida again. Good to have you here. VV Wheels. Good to see you here. What's up, Chris Ashbay? All right, let's go, DevvE. Good to have the DevvE family here. They are one of my one of my top picks and one of my largest holdings in crypto. What up, Bill? Man, so many good people here. Rain, could I look at Sonic the Snipe bot, please? Mark Wilson, what is the ticker symbol for Sonic the Snipe bot? I don't know how a snipe bot is going to be very interesting to me and what it has to do with this. And that could be like some kind of scam comment. I don't know. Like Sonic the Snipe bot does not sound like a project I'm really interested in. Okay, what's up, Rain? Hope you're well from Maryland. Get that DevvE, DeFi, and Omi at a discount. Everything's on sale right now. Realize that this is often a trap and that it does push some people out right before I think things are going to go pretty well. The overall news for crypto is incredibly bullish. The US is probably going to put together a Bitcoin reserve. It might even have not just a Bitcoin, but other altcoins in that reserve. So a crypto reserve. The US government has been so massively anti-crypto the last 4 years, and that's totally reversed. You realize that we are in this amazing time, and right before this amazing time, there's this total altcoin devastating crash, and many people see this as a bad thing. Well, if the number one principle of making money in crypto is buy low, sell high, and you understand that though people are saying the top is already in for this market, that is a ridiculous statement. The new incoming presidency is very, very crypto bullish. The new incoming Congress, so Republicans now control the Congress, and the majority of them are crypto bullish, and even probably half of the Democrats. Pretty much most of the Democrats below the age of 48 are massively interested in crypto. And the only ones flooding it are mostly Democrats over the age of like 60 to 65 that are flooding crypto, which makes up a small majority of Congress. So you have a very favorable presidency and a very favorable Congress to crypto. I think we're going to see some common sense laws, and I think things are only going to heat up from here in 2025. But nicely, we've had this nice pullback that those that were looking to buy low so they can later sell high, maybe getting a really, really good setup here. Interesting, Mark. I'll take a look at that in a minute. Let me talk about some of the ones. Who knew that Mantra DAO would be in number 31 crypto? Not me. Yeah, it's funny. What do you think about Beam Gaming? Beam is, I like it better than I did before. Everyone was talking about Beam before, and I never buy something when everyone's talking about it. But its price has been punished. So we'll look at that too. Let me put a star by that. Great one to look at. Let me share with you a few that I had prepared, but we can look at some of your suggestions too. Now, one of the things I like is buying low, sell high. And this pick comes with a little bit of a story. See, I didn't know for certain that 2021 would be a really big year, but I was just playing probabilities because there had only been 2 bull cycles prior to that. Each of them the year after a Bitcoin halving. So 2012 was the first Bitcoin halving, which led to a 2013 bull run. The next Bitcoin halving was 2016, followed by a 2017 massive bull run, which is where I came into crypto. I came in October, bought halfway through the bull run, bought high, hoping it'd go higher. And guess what? It did go higher. And then it reversed massively on me, and I hadn't taken profits yet. So my little $15,000 investment went to about $165,000 and then went to about $3,000, which was not a very fun place. But like I say, you're always bad before you're good. I made some of these mistakes myself, even though I should have known better. But nobody was talking about the 4-year cycle then. I didn't know that there was a 4-year cycle, and I didn't understand about this year after the Bitcoin halving that Bitcoin would really go crazy and then pull back. But I like to learn from my mistakes. So when it pulled back savagely, because at the time everyone was saying it was just going to continue up from here and that crypto allows the internet to do new things and it's just going to continue up from here for forever. And that wasn't the case. So as I was licking my wounds from watching my portfolio go way down, I thought, well, okay, so obviously there's a cycle here and it looks like it's a 4-year cycle. And what I know about cycles is buy low, sell high, and cycles are an amazing thing. So buy low, So I was working on research and buying low, and I found this project in 2020 called NBA Top Shots. Now, they had released some digital collectible moments that were video moments. So they seem kind of like basketball cards, but better in some ways, in that it's not just a picture. It's the actual video moment of the whole like pass leading to the dunk or some epic blocked shot, and you get the whole video moment. That was incredible. But I was a little bit worried because guess what? Almost nobody in crypto YouTube was talking about them. But I thought, collectibles going digital, I think that's going to happen. And I think this idea of video moments is really going to be good because you don't have to store them all in like a shoebox or anything. You can actually keep them online. And I think this idea is going to be really, really big. So I started buying a lot of these packs in August, September, October of 2020. And back then, they were really, really cheap and nobody was paying attention to them. In fact, in one of the packs, I got this moment here. LeBron James common out of 1,000. So remember when things first launch and they aren't doing well, sometimes the mint numbers, and this is a common moment. There's only 1,000 of them, but the mint numbers weren't really all that big. And I got this out of a pack. And I bought another LeBron James, but I wanted to share with you kind of the story of what happened. So you could have bought these off the market back then for about 30 bucks. Maybe even a little bit cheaper, maybe 20, 25. Just a common moment. Nobody was really paying attention to it. Nobody but a few of us realized that this, or thought about how this digital collectibles narrative made sense. That collectibles going digital, of course that's going to happen. Just like digital gold, Bitcoin is replacing gold because this digital store of value is a lot better than the physical store of value in many ways. Not all of them, but many ways. Of course, digital collecting is going to become the thing. And so why wouldn't basketball cards transition to basketball moments? And that the millions of basketball card collectors out there, in the future, many of them will be collecting digital moments, and this will bring even more people into collecting basketball moments in general. So not only will a lot of those people transition to digital collectibles, but it will augment over time. That was my thesis. Now, the thesis ended up being really, really right. I had put about $1,100 into mostly packs into NBA Top Shots, and I got this moment out of it. And let's see how this moment done. Now, I wish I had gone in there and bought a whole bunch of LeBron James moments, but I was questioning this thesis a little bit because nobody else was talking about it. Nobody else seemed to get it, at least that I could find. So I wondered if maybe it was wrong. Well, in March, this thesis went absolutely nuts. You can see somebody came in and bought serial number 299. So not even an incredible serial number. And they paid $37,000 for it. Keep in mind, you could have bought these in September of 2020 for about 30 bucks. So literally it went absolutely crazy from there. In fact, let's see if this one has a history that we can see. No, I want to see that one's history, dang it. Nope. It is showing us that he doesn't currently have it. Serial number 299 is now owned by Hold These Moments. Not even the guy who bought it in that case, but Sports Guru here bought it for $37,000. Pete D bought the serial number 56. He paid $42,000 for it. And he also bought the number 5 serial number for $110,000. Absolutely incredible. Now, was that the highest performer? That it was one of the highest performing moments. Most of them did not do 1,000x or 3,000x, but my little $100 or $1,100 investment went to about $187,000 in March of 2021. So just 6 months later, even though in August I was totally questioning whether I had made a good pick because nobody was talking about these things. Let me show you another one. Now, I actually bought this one off the marketplace. So I have very specific numbers on it. Now it's only going for $355 now, but that's a lot better than the price I paid for mine. I think I paid $58 for mine, and we'll be able to track it down, and I should still be able to see the data on when I actually bought it. But you can see as the market was going crazy, somebody paid $19,000. I remember the floor on this being like 27,000 or something, but 19,000 was the lowest or the highest. I guess these two are the highest two regular sales. And then this was mint number 32, which ends up being like a really good mint number. It's not his jersey of 23, but it's kind of the reverse of his jersey. So we'll exclude the $22,000 sale because there's some special things about it that make it high. And there's only a total number of how many mints? Where's that number? I don't remember. It's only like 200 and something, like 260, maybe 300. Here we go, 266 mints. Why? Well, this was a rare, and they were having a hard time getting traction with the sales of these things. So I remember common packs were on sale on the market for forever, like for months and months and months and months before they sold out. Now let's look at how the token associated with them did during this time. So not only could you have made moments or money from the actual collectibles themselves, which were massively undervalued, well, their token back then, and unfortunately we only have a price history by coin market cap back to January 27th of 2021. So before this, Flow was even cheaper than this by a lot. And it was already on its trajectory where it started to take off in January because people were talking about it. So January, February, and March, Flow did absolutely incredible and even continued to do well into April before then correcting downwards. And this was in the altcoin season, or the first part of the 2021 cycle, where many altcoins went massively crazy. So all the coins associated with digital collectibles actually went crazy too. And at the time, there were three primary coins. There was Flow, there was Omi, and there was Chili's. And they did absolutely incredible. And my thesis was correct. Okay, cool. Was it a risk? Yes, I was just playing probabilities. So now the market is really, really cheap. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Flow is all the way down to 48 cents. That's absolutely incredible. If we look at a log scale, we can see, oh my gosh, it's right near the lowest it's been this whole bear market. Well, that's interesting. It's even below $1 billion market cap, and all their tokens seem to be in circulation. So there's not going to be more token vesting pressure on you. That might be an absolutely incredible buy if you think the digital collectible space is going to continue to do well from here. So Solana, which might make a 3x from here, maybe it makes better than that, but it's already high, so high, realized 30x of its gain potential already. And here Flow is near its bear market lows. The actual bear market lows being at like 39 cents. Right now it's sitting at 49 cents. Okay, cool. It's barely up at all. And this is the one that nobody is talking about. You're not able to go on and find YouTube channel after YouTube channel after YouTube channel talking about Flow. But let me ask you, why wouldn't it be that digital collectibles narrative runs this bull run as people really start to focus on this digital world and everything crypto does? Why would this narrative not run? And some people say, yeah, but I'm scared it won't run. Well, that's fair. But that is fear. And there is a probability that it doesn't run. And for my own investment, I assess that probability that digital collectibles doesn't hit this cycle to only be about 5% chance that the digital collectibles narrative doesn't hit. Of course it's going to run. As everyone starts to really, as the market really heats up, people start digging deep into the research, and then they start buying fundamentals over shit. So I get that meme coins have run, and I consider meme coins shit. That doesn't mean you can't make money on shit. There's a lot of businesses that make money on shit in real life too, but that isn't someplace I try to make money. Why? Because you're just gauging fads. And I don't want to invest in fads. I want to invest in actual businesses. I want to invest in narratives, in the leading businesses in those narratives. And that's what I'm looking for. And pretend to be digital gold or tokenized gold. Why? It derails the conversation. That is a good question, Chris. Not really on track for this discussion. Other than I'll say digital gold is better than digitized physical gold, because physical gold, in that sense, can be easily divisible, which is one of the major disadvantages of real gold, is the divisibility. But also you have to then pay for custody, and you have to trust that people hold your gold and that you can actually get it when you want to. I think a lot of the world's going to transition to a digital store of value, or Bitcoin over gold. Now, will gold always be around? I don't see why it won't be. I think it'll always be around. I do think Bitcoin's going to massively outperform it, though. And so in that sense, I see it as better, because I'm just looking at performance numbers. I want what's going to perform for my portfolio better. Now, I'm not actually in a lot of Bitcoin, because I'm in the riskier stuff like Flow, because I buy low and sell high. Another one in that same space that I'm really big on, if you follow the channel for a while, you know, and it's Ecomi. And guess what? When Flow started to do really, really well, guess what? The whole narrative ran. So Omi ran. Now, Omi massively outperformed Flow. Omi did a 3,000x. Now, Flow had some big partners, so it never got so massively undervalued like Ecomi did during that bear market of 2019 through early 2021, where Omi was super cheap, really until February. Started to take off, and then March. So as Flow started to gain some traction, Omi followed and actually massively outperformed it, doing 3,000x, which was one of the highest gainers during that bull market. And since then has absolutely been devastatingly punished, and people thinking, oh, you know, Omi's not going to survive. Omi's not going to do well. Oh my gosh. Of course it will, unless ViVe completely distances from Omi. And there was a lot of regulatory pressure for them to do that during the previous presidential administration. I think the pressure to do that is going to be way, way less during this administration. And I see the likelihood of them doing something devastating like that being way down from what it was a year ago. And it was a small % chance they would do that a year ago. Number one, the founders own massive amounts of Omi token themselves. Number two, it would absolutely tarnish their brand and devastate their brand and their reputation. And in the crypto space, they would be probably tarnished for forever. I don't know that they could become the number one digital collectibles app if they did something devastating like that to their community. So is it a possibility? It is a possibility. I just say it's got very, very low probability. So with that said, let's look at ViVe. I mean, they have 216,000 followers. What kind of traction does their stuff get? They released this 2 hours ago and they got 3.4K views. Not bad for a bear market. Okay. The Real Uncommon podcast looks like sponsored by ViVe Comics. This got 51K views, 2.7K views. So they got traction during this stage when their narrative is absolutely not doing well. They are selling a lot of things during this time that the narrative is doing bad. Look at this interview with, Ben on there. They got 14K views. That's quite high, actually, for this time when their narrative isn't doing well. If you look at their app, like if you're not familiar with ViVe, they do have some of the number one collectibles out there. And they're high quality collectibles. They're augmented reality collectibles that, like on your phone, if you open the ViVe app and you own them, you can actually put them in the augmented reality in the space that you're in and kind of play around with them and take really cool videos or screenshots, which I find fascinating. And they have really, really top intellectual property. Like they have Venom. They have Assassin's Creed. They got Sabretooth here. They do have some really, really cool posters. They, more importantly, have a deal with Marvel Comics. to have the digital collectible, the digital versions of the comics on their app. And that is such a major deal, really, because that's been happening for like 2.5 years. So many people undervalue, they don't realize the long-term value that has. In my opinion, that's absolutely huge. Flow, I really, really like because they have like the digital versions of basketball cards, football cards, and even MMA cards, but actually showing the whole video moment. And I think that's absolutely amazing. I think in the future, there's a strong chance that a lot of comics go digital, and ViVe is poised to be the dominant player in that, as well as the digital collectibles space. So they're just really well positioned, and people aren't thinking about how well that is. All right. Yeah, no worries. ViVe Ben, good to have you here. All right. Let's look at what else is good. So we talked about some in the digital collectibles space. Now perhaps I'm just highly biased about this, but there's a reason why I'm biased about this, and this is DevvE. Now, DevvE is in the layer 1 blockchain space, and there's not a whole lot of new layer 1 blockchains that I'm really interested in. Now, recently, there's been some that have come into space that are really, really interesting, but already there are such high market caps that makes them less interesting. Like one I've covered is Sui. And Sui reached out to me and through somebody who works with the team and said, hey, as an influencer that really, has good credibility, we'd love to do a deal with you where you can buy Sui over the counter and we'll let you buy it at 50 cents or 75 cents, which at the time was a really good price. It was below the market price. And Sui's done really, really well. I said, I appreciate that very much, but I'm not going to buy Sui because your market cap is so high, though I believe in you as a project. So layer 1 blockchain, I think you're going to be one of the ones that make it and love it. I was like, I'll cover you for free, but I'm not going to sell a lot of my altcoins that haven't realized their gains yet in order to buy Sui, even at that discount, which I very much appreciate the offer. If I was sitting on loads of cash, but I'm fully deployed into this, if I was sitting on loads of cash to the tunes of tens of millions of dollars, yeah, would I have loved to do that? And there was a cap as to how much they would allow me to buy. But yes, it just isn't in line with a lot of the stuff that I think can get higher multiples. Now, the Sui narrative has run pretty good since that time because they've gotten all kinds of traction and coverage from a lot of the major players. I do think they're an amazing layer 1 and that they'll do really well, but their market cap is quite high for what I'm interested in. In fact, let's look at it. So even though I believe in the project, they're now number 12 on coin market cap. Their market cap is 11 billion, and something like this might have another 10x to go. Maybe it goes to 110 billion dollars. Maybe it goes 20x from that. Cool. They're about 7x, or I think the offer was like 70 cents. So they're about 5x from what I could have bought it at. And those are some respectable numbers, but they were already such a high market cap. I was mostly interested in a lot of the ones I'm talking to you about. And one of the ones most interesting to me is DevvE, because DevvE is a layer 1 blockchain, and they can do transactions per speed that blow apart everything out there. And they have some specific value. Now, I retweeted this video here on my Twitter earlier, and this video is really, really helpful to watch. Austin from DevvE explains what is special about DevVe's layer 1 blockchain over a lot of the other ones. Second thing I really like about it, so I think they've got a really good use case. Another thing I really like about it is look at that market cap. It's at 115 million. Now, when I was really covering them, they were devastatingly low like this, devastatingly low. And you could have bought it if you had been watching my coverage and you decide you liked it. You could have bought it at 13, 14 cents. And now it's almost 10x from that. But I do think this sideways trading pattern is just building some momentum for another break to the upside. And if I'm right on this, I think this is something that can go to an $11 billion market cap, maybe even a $110 billion market cap. Do you realize that's 100x to 1,000x from here? Now, if you're watching this before, I covered DevvE a whole lot in this time frame and had the team on for interviews, and we're able to pick it up even cheaper. But even at this price, it's still a good price. Now, what do I like about it? Well, watch the interviews I've had with their team, as well as do some bigger research on it to see if you like it. Because again, it's not important if I like it, it's more important if you like it. Let's look at some of their socials though, and let me pull this up. They only have 33,000 followers, so they're still relatively unknown out there. ViVe, remember, had 200 and something thousand. Now, they haven't had a token in a bull market yet. So ViVe has, and that does help you get way higher numbers of followers, especially being one of the #1 altcoin performers, their OMI token, during the last bull market. So that helped them get some traction, but DevvE is still relatively unknown. So this is where you dig deep into the research, and the best research out there is interviews with the team. Who is the team? What are they saying about it? What are they saying about the other team members? What are they saying is their potential here? And that's where you're going to dive deeper into the research. Now, if we were to transparently do that together, number one, this YouTube channel would be sitting there looking at all the other YouTube channels out there. But the first thing I do is I go to like YouTube and I go DevvE crypto interview, and I'm use here to get started with. Now, I've done a bunch of interviews with them, and funny enough, I don't even show up at the top, even though this has only 507 views and much smaller channels, but it's not up there. But they're worth watching. I would still watch them. And then you can see my interviews with Tom. You can see a recent interview here, even some other analysis on them, and you go way back to my interview here 3 years ago. Boy, that's a blast from the past, isn't it? So yeah, those old thumbnails and everything. Yeah, some fun times. Anyway, you can go back and do some research there. I would strongly suggest you do. All right. Would be good if you could 3D print your ViVe collectible. I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah, that would be amazing. All right. So what else is out there that's interesting? Well, another major narrative. So that's one of, in fact, that's my only layer 1 blockchain that I really, really like for this investment cycle, because market cap is everything. Now, I shared with you Sui, and I really, really like it. I'm just not investing in blue chips, or I would have loaded up on Sui, especially at that type of offer, but even at market prices, because it wasn't high above that. In Sui, I think, which really took all the research that Meta had done on their blockchain and was able to benefit from that. But so Sui was well positioned with millions and millions and probably $1 billion or $500 million in funding that helped it get really good. And so I think Sui is one of the great blockchains of the future. But it's not massively, massively undervalued like DevvE is. And that's where my interest is in DevvE. So what else is interesting? Well, the DeFi narrative. And one of my big picks for DeFi that I personally like is DeFi. They're also a strategic partner on this channel. Another one in this narrative is OneChain. OneChain is very much in the DeFi narrative. And realize the DeFi narrative hasn't really run since March of 2021. Now, one of the reasons it hasn't run is because the last presidential administration was so anti-DeFi. They don't like you being able to be complete control of your own crypto and being able to move it around and do whatever you want with it. They want you to have to put it into their institutions. Realize that most of the SEC chairs prior came from Goldman Sachs. They want you to have to invest through their gateways like Fidelity, Goldman Sachs, and other things that they have control on, and that they drive a lot of power. Because when you go become the SEC chairman, after you get out, you go back to working at Goldman Sachs for a whole lot more money or whatever the situation is. So they didn't want you having control. They didn't want institutional control to change hands into new players. They wanted to keep the old guard in place, or at least that's what their actions said. But they did not want this wild west of innovation to happen. They wanted to keep the existing system, and they wanted to lock you out of this new system, and they were going after DeFi hard. So it really stifled any future DeFi runs after March of 2021. When it ran in March of 2021, well, Biden administration just barely came in. Gary Gensler hadn't really started his reign of terror. He had been in there, but based on his background, it seemed like he would be pro-crypto, not anti-crypto. And possibly, personally, he was pro-crypto, but that is not how he acted in that role. It was very much, I'm going to leave very vague, arbitrary rules and punish everyone who doesn't follow these rules, and I'm going to punish them harshly, even though I won't clarify for you what the rules are. That's what I'd call a reign of terror. All right. What else is interesting as a narrative? Well, blockchain gaming is another one of my favorite narratives out there. Now, I'm invested in Myria. I don't have any Litcrafts tokens, which is associated with DevvE. Their token Fias. I am very interested in that, but because DevvE is one of my largest holdings, I haven't diversified into Fias because they're kind of tied together. I didn't want to sell DevvE to buy Fias, but I do also have a bunch of their Litpets and Litpat land or Litcraft land from their Litcraft universe. And I, during the bear market, bought a bunch of those. So I do have good exposure to that game. I also like Illuvium. I like Gunzilla, though it's unclear what the price of that token is going to be. So how investable is it going to be? I don't know. The ones I like are games for a living. And you can watch other videos of mine where I go much deeper into what I like and why I like it. So let's look at a few and do some research. Speaking of blockchain gaming, let's take a look at Beam. Now, remember, buy high, sell low is a terrible idea, yet so many people do that. And the reason they do it is because they buy what everyone is talking about it. And this is when everybody was talking about Beam. So earlier this year, in January, February, and then March of 2024, or earlier last year, everyone was talking about Beam. And it went all the way up to 4 cents. And it would have been very tempting for people to buy Beam because everyone was talking about it. And consensus was that Beam was just going to be the major player in blockchain gaming and blah, 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 blah. Okay, do I like Beam? Yes. But I like Beam a lot more at 1 cent than I did at 4 cents. Now, does it have a huge future in blockchain gaming? I think it does. So 1 cent is a lot more attractive price, wouldn't you agree, than 4 cents? Cool. But if you did what most people do in crypto, where everyone's talking about it, so it must be the future of gaming, you bought high, and then likely they're selling it now low, which is the opposite of how you make money in crypto. The right way to play it is if you like Beam and you want to, well, take a chance on their future, 1 cent is a whole lot better than 4 cents. But most people find it much, much harder to buy here because everyone isn't talking about blockchain gaming. Everyone isn't talking about how Beam is the future of blockchain gaming. And so they don't buy here, even though it is a 4 times better price than it would have been up here. Yet they were way more anxious and excited to buy here rather than buying at this 1 cent price. Now let's look briefly at some important things. One of the first things I like to do is go to their Twitter. What does their Twitter look like? Their Twitter has 93,000 followers. Beam is a sovereign network focused on gaming. Well, I like the narrative blockchain gaming. I think it's absolutely huge. New gaming content every single day. Join the Beam Gamers channel like 242,000 others have done before you. Go to their YouTube channel and follow it. Cool. Immutable. Building the future of gaming requires work with the right people. Looks like they're working with Immutable X. Another one of my ones that I like. They're working with Avalanche. I like it. Okay. So cool. As to additional research, I'd be looking for interviews with the Beam team. So I'd go to YouTube. I'd search for interviews with Beam and be taking a look at it. But I like Beam. I didn't like it at 4 cents, though, and I didn't like it when everyone was talking about it. But now that almost nobody is talking about it, better time to look at it. Okay. Now, Mark, I have a feeling I'm not going to like Sonic, the snipe bot. Why? Because why am I going to buy a token associated with the snipe bot? But let's see. Now, help me figure out which one it is. So we have Sonic, previously FTM, Is that Phantom? Did Phantom change their name to Sonic? Is it Sonic SVM? Is it this Sonic? I don't know which Sonic it is. So this doesn't look like it. Help me out here, Mark Wilson, because yeah, Sonic the Snipebot isn't coming up. Okay. I found it by Googling it. So it looks like we're here at a market cap of 4.6 million. It absolutely went high at $4 right there. And then has come down to $1. But let's look for substance. Looks like it's on Sui. Let's look at the website. Sonic Snipebot on Sui. Start trading, invest now. I don't love it when they're like invest now right from the website. I see that with a lot of scams. How does it work? Get started 3 simple ways. Hassle-free setup. So then they tell you this. And essentially what a Snipebot is going to give you price indicators. Now AI is getting better at price indicators. But realize that people have been working on AI for a long time. So you would want to look deeper. Now, there are a lot of like AI things. Like there's a lot of AI narrative. And these gimmicky projects. And I see Snipebot, Sonic the Snipebot is like a gimmicky project, just like a lot of AI projects out there. And of course, people want to be able to snipe. So with this kind of gimmick or this type of project, and really, I'd want to look and see what percentage is it right and what kind of reading does it give. So does it say, okay, 80% chance it goes up from here and then it goes up to this number? Or does it just say 80% chance it's a buy here, but it doesn't tell you what the upside is? Those kind of things. But like buying a project related to a Snipebot, less likely. I was approached to talk with a project about 5 months ago, and I haven't done in-depth coverage on them, but they showed me very real probabilities on what their AI was doing, and their AI's accuracy was surprisingly high, and it gave pretty good information, and it measured the trades against that, and it was fascinating. So pretty predictable. They haven't launched a token associated with it. They were actually showing me what they had invented and really excited about it. And it was really, really cool. The accuracy was something that was really, really interesting. We'll see if they end up launching a token, whether that token is really interesting. But one of my challenges with that is there longevity in their accuracy? So things keep evolving in the future and trading patterns evolve. So say a bunch of people figure out some algorithms that work for successful trading. Do you realize that that will actually change market behavior? And then those algorithms will often break and then they have to be updated and it changed. And it's a continual process to try to stay ahead of the market in these quick trades. What I realized is that even like day traders, even with some AI assistance, in general, most day traders don't make money. What does make money is buying low and then selling high, and that's much easier to do over a greater time period. So if in the bear market, you're buying things when they're totally out of the narrative, and you're buying projects that are low and using research to determine if they have enough cash on hand to survive into the coming bull market, do they have the right team to do well in this narrative? And then you're buying those low, and then you're holding them till the 4-year cycle hits, and you have that massive blow off top again. Well, that's a pattern. It doesn't even take high intelligence to do well on that. Whereas with actual quick trading and quick turnaround trading, I've seen about 1% of quick traders make it long term. Even I was talking to somebody yesterday and they're like, I have a friend that's really good at trading and he did day trading professionally for years. And I said, notice what you just told me there. He did day trading for years. Why is he not doing day trading now? because most traders like that don't succeed long term. Now, Paul is an exception. Paul has been doing this for 30 years. Realize that how rare that is. Paul joins us on Wednesdays to do buy, wait, or sell. That is so phenomenally rare to have somebody have a consistent, good track record. And he has very specific principles that he follows that help him stack the odds in his favor. And he can invest in any of the different markets out there and knows all these different markets and follows them. I'd rather just invest in crypto. Feel like you make more money investing at these crypto lows during the bear market and holding to the highs than you can in any other opportunity. Even if you make good money day trading, kind of money you can make on that versus just buying low in the bear market and then selling till the narratives, selling when the narratives absolutely go crazy. I don't know if there's anything better right now. Now, eventually, as more people come into crypto and everything, there won't be such high swings. So there won't be such big lows and such high highs. And so there won't be quite the same margins in crypto that there are now. But for now, there's nothing more interesting than this. Banana Gun is the TON chain, and its market cap is 150 million. Sonic is 4 million. It covers 30 chains. Okay, interesting. Is it something I'm interested in? No, but it sounds like what you're betting on is that narrative. And can that narrative do well? It can. It can. And like the substance behind it, that's on all these different chains, sounds like that has enough substance that when a bunch of people come in, they don't always buy the very best things. I mean, people came in and just FOMO'd into the Trump coin and Melania coin, FOMOing into meme coins. I don't like meme coins because they're essentially fads and you're trading fads. Cool. Now, will Trump continue to stick around and maintain long term? It may go high enough. There might be enough. If Trump does good things while he's in office, that Trump coin may be around permanently, but I would rather bet on businesses rather than fads. And so I don't do them. Is Sonic, what they're doing, kind of a business? It's kind of 50-50 in between. It's kind of a business and kind of a fad. Now, this trend will hit with snipe bots coming in again. There will be probably another wave as you have waves of new people coming in. First, they rotate into meme coins, but then they start to rotate into more substance. But at first, they're kind of new to learning what substance is. So sometimes they go for these intermediate things that have some substance, but some fad behind them. I wouldn't be shocked if that narrative ends up hitting again. And really, that's what you're betting on, is that this narrative will come into the highlight again. The reason the token's been punished is because it's come out of the narrative. So it was all the way up here at $1.10. As the AI narrative was going absolutely crazy, and then it's come out of the narrative. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Where is our friend Sonic? Yeah, this one. So the AI narrative really, really went strong December and January, though this massively pumped then. And it's all the way down to $1, and it looks like it's actually going to come down some more before it turns around. So this may even get cheaper. So is there enough substance for this to do well? I don't know. Sui is a good chain. I like that, but I don't have any idea who the team is behind this, and that would be a must know. They only have 4,500 followers. That's a big concern. Do they have enough? They may not even come back at all in this, and this is where research comes in handy. Like, who are the people running this? What are their connections? How strong are they? Cool, they have some decent graphics, but who is this team? The team at this point might be massively in profit, and they might just kind of say, shoot, it didn't come together as well as we wanted to, on to making the next project. So yeah, just some concerns there. All right, guys, that's a lot of what I wanted to cover today. Look, a lot of people are doing this wrong. They buy high, hoping it goes higher. And if you're smart and take profits while you're ahead, sometimes that works out for you, but that's not how you make large, meaningful gains. The way you make large, meaningful gains is you commit to be here the next 4 years, at least at a minimum, until 2029 into 2030. And that even after this bull run, hopefully you make as much money as possible this bull run, but then you've set it to the sideline so that you can reacquire great, amazing pickups during the following bear market, because there will be another bear market and people will be over fudding some projects that are massively undervalued. and those projects will turn around, do tremendous again in the following bull run. And so this is going to play out again. And so this is how you can stack the odds in your favor, is not just take this ride up, but prepare for the ride up after that. Now, some people think this will be a super cycle and that it will just continue on from there. Well, it may be a super cycle, but it's never just going to go straight up. Technology comes in waves, and especially because of the Bitcoin halving that puts extra pressure on this idea of 4-year cycle. I think the 4-year cycle continues at least one more time. And so commit yourself to being here. Commit yourself to learning. Look, you're always bad before you're good. So how else are you going to get good without taking the time to really study this deeper? And how can you study this deeper? Obviously, you can watch my YouTube videos for free. You can join the Telegram for free. If you want more in-depth thing, join the Patreon community. That'll give you access to the private Discord, because we have a whole family of rainmakers here. Many of them have 3 years at this, learning how to research. And like, it was really fun watching you all pick apart Dynex and looking deeper at Dynex on the Discord and seeing what you think about that, and giving your own input and analysis in that. I loved reading that. That's what I'm looking for. Looking for a community of essentially the Navy SEALs of crypto that like look at these and then they look way deeper to see who is the team, what is the substance behind it, what is the team saying about their project, is what they're saying can be verified, to figure out through research what are the probabilities of this going crazy. And I'm loving seeing that come together, because do you realize that this year there's some things that are going to go absolutely massively crazy, but what's going to be interesting as far as low cap altcoins 2.5 years from now is completely different than the crop of what is really interesting now. So we'll take a ton of additional researching, using the skills that you've been learning on how to do that, and find the massively undervalued, overfunded gems, then to take then that following ride up into 2029 and to really make additional life-changing wealth. Hopefully you're well set up so that you make some amazing gains this bull market. Many of you, I think, are really well set up that you're going to really surprise yourself. But that following one is the one that puts you like out of the atmosphere as far as your gains. Exciting times. There are some additional courses. If you want to catch up quick or learn how to think on a deeper level, those courses are built exactly for that. So that is just you investing in yourself, taking those courses. Can you learn that by watching the last 3.5 years of my videos? Yes, you can watch it that way by spending hundreds and thousands of hours, or you can shortcut it to these courses into 10 hours of course and get the condensed shortcut version, because your time has value as well. Thanks everyone. Enjoy our little wrap that we're going to wrap up here, and we'll see you all soon.
To the space, chasing all of the gains, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, shit right before you could. Was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always make the time in mind. I take the one out cause I'm patient like that, and I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't lead with my heart. Principles are simple, they're leaving a mark. Why when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, got parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes it time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, studying to know that nothing comes easy, but with knowledge the game show. Sticking out this wrong, cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing, and when it's slow will be the target. They say it's come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. Sticking around, the time is better. Strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time, the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort, cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go of the hate, let the haters be crafting. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm your future, learning the past, making time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how, cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I'll follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, but time to slow down, addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough, and that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love, and I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.